Taurus, welcome to your reading. I'm doing it in the car, but at a very special place for me that I know to be on a ley line that goes all the way up to Stonehenge. And it's a place that I'm very connected to from my childhood. So I'm sat on the ley line that goes all the way to Stonehenge, that comes from, yeah, it's an interesting energy, and I have a very special relationship to it. So I thought I would come here in the car and do this reading. Now, what's interesting, so we're going to do a North Star for you today. I've laid it already, and then we're going to pull some oracles, which I've got here to add to it. So it's a slightly quicker reading. What's interesting, and I wonder whether it plays into your reading, is that where I am is quite a rich area. And because I've been sat here doing this odd thing, I've been doing the dailies as well. There is a security guard to my left who sat in a car that was, he obviously guards one of the houses that's in this place because someone lives there. And I'm really irritating him, I know, because I'm perfectly allowed to be here. It's the middle of a street that is open and public. But because I'm on his radar, I'm obviously close to the house that he's protecting. He's actually sort of backed up and he's parallel to me now. And I'm finding it quite irritating, but he's finding me quite irritating. So I'm perfectly within my rights. And when I think about working on ley line energies and finding our North Star, I often think about how ley lines are... people often with a lot of wealth often buy around ley lines, whether it's intuitive or esoteric knowledge, who knows. But there are points in the earth where you can manifest easier and that you can use the sort of natural energy, you can co-opt it for your own means. So it's sort of funny, it feels like I'm in a fight with a kind of a privileged energy that's saying, just a sec, what are you doing? And that you're annoying me. I mean, the poor guy, he's probably just thinks I'm some sort of crazy assassin playing with my cards. And why am I, unusually waiting outside his boss's place or whatever it is that he's guarding. But it's about guarding resources. So I wonder whether that relates to you in any way. It might come up more in the reading, but anyway, we're on this special land. You and the idea of you finding your North Star, we've got you as the hermit. So that really is finding your path. You're prepared, you're ready. You want to, with that head bowed and that lantern, you really want to find your proper path, the one that is really about your great hopes and dreams. You've got the star from the star card in your lantern. You're going on quite an epic, you're prepared to go on quite an epic journey in order to make sure you're on the right path. He goes up the mountain away from his community in order to learn his truth and come back down to his community. So that's beautiful. Let's see if anything's jumping out to me with him today. He just looks quite still and he's on a little bit of land, as if he's sort of come to a stop. So maybe that relates to where you're at. He's looking right at his feet. What we always say about him is that he can't see beyond just his feet. So he just has to put one foot in front of the other in order to make his way forward. And here he's really looking at his feet to me, and he's on a little sort of promontory or a little sort of iceberg almost. He doesn't quite know how to go forward. So maybe that's a bit how you're feeling at the moment. It's not serious, but you might feel a bit like, I don't know where my next footprint should go. Now, the root skills that you've got to support you in the quest to find your North Star are the Page of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. So this is the security guard's getting out of his thing. I think he's got bored with me now. He's made his point. So the Page of Cups is looking... So your root skills are imagination and romance, and deep emotional connection, and a youthful sort of energy. And then the Six of Pentacles, which is... It's interesting that I started talking about the idea of sort of... my imagination going to this idea of, energy lines being co-opted by those that can afford to live on them. And here at the root skills of your North Star quest is finding your North Star quest is the idea of reciprocity, fairness, everything being shared fairly between the different people, those that are poor, those that are rich, everybody having their fair share, and then your imagination. So it tells me that you're very imaginative and you're very balanced, and that you might have these kind of concerns about equity, about fairness between different parts of society, different parts of yourself, different voices. And it's led by the imagination. So a great sense of fairness and a great sense of the imagination in your root skills, which I love. In the things that you need to let go of, we have the Queen of Swords and the Nine of Swords. So too much logical, harsh thinking in the Queen of Swords. She is the most intelligent in the pack. She uses her intellect brilliantly. She's the kind of woman that if you went to as a friend for some advice, would give you incredible advice, incredible unsugar-coated advice. So maybe you've been being a bit tough on yourself and you're being too logical in how to find this quest. And also with the Nine of Swords, you're worrying. So there's a sort of punishing sense of worrying about all the details, overblowing them because it's the middle of the night. Let's see, he's got back into his car now. He left us for a moment. He's getting really frustrated. I know, I can feel his energy. It's really interesting. So maybe that's a bit like this. It's that sort of frustrated, come on, get off. I need you to get out of my patch. Move on. I want you to stop these silly worries. Just get on and make some decisive action. You know, she's a very kind of bish, bash, bosh queen. And she's talking to that worried part of yourself quite toughly. And you've got to let go of that because it's not helping. So that's interesting. And then actually what's fascinating is when we ask for how do this collective of, oh gosh, well, of course it has to be at a steeple, the spire of a church. So you are Taurus people and steeple people, spire people, reaching to the heavens. When we ask how you find your North Star, it's by turning around and looking at those two standing cups, but somehow it's also by allowing yourself to feel this disappointment, because the Queen of Swords wouldn't allow you to feel all of that disappointment and worry. She wants you to just get on with it, and that's what we're letting go of here, by allowing yourself to go through some sort of grieving process. And look, I can't help but notice how similar those bent heads are. So you trying to find your true path has got your head bent in the Hermit, and here just above it, in how you find your North Star, you have to go through this process of going up the mountain. You have to be able to go through the disappointment of something you've lost. Maybe you're grieving. Maybe there really is a loss of community, maybe with the Three of Cups, or some sort of grief. You have to go through that process and then eventually turn around and look at those two cups. That's what you're being asked to do. I'm looking at that little copse of black trees at the back beyond the river. So that's how you're going to get there. You have to go through the grieving and the brown shoes. I don't know why they're coming out to me today. You have to go through the grieving and then turn around. But it's sort of like, you know, when you just try and skip emotions, it doesn't work. When you think, I'm feeling a bit bad, I'm going to go and do something to sort of push. Sometimes it works, but sometimes if an emotion is profound enough, the only way out of it is through. And that's what I'm feeling for you. So in order to find your North Star, you have to fully grieve, fully acknowledge your disappointments, and then turn around and look at this great opportunity of the two cups that still stands and where it's all leading. I love it. The Emperor. Now, this is the kind of power of the ley line that we're sitting on right now. So it brings you great power, great security, great resources. It's interesting, by not being bullied off your spot, which is what I'm feeling from this guy next door to me a little bit, because he's got no right to move me on, but he wants me to because I'm an anomaly. Okay, so maybe there's something about you know, when you're grieving, it's quite frustrating to other people around you. I've just been through this process. I just couldn't bully myself out of feeling so sad. My dog died just over a year ago, and it's kind of odd. You're at a sort of, you are an anomaly with the rest of life for a while. You're not in step with them. You're doing something else, and you could just push through it, but then the work's not been done, and we have to do it, and then we get to take our place in the world like the emperor would. We get to be in command of, metaphorically, the ley line, or our power is what we're, once we refuse to be pushed off it just because we have some uncomfortable feelings. Yes, okay, so what that feels like to me is the source of our power is really in our emotions, in our heart. If we rush off with distractions because something feels awful, we lose our power spot. So this guy wants me to move off from the spot, but this is my heritage. I was born here. I spent all my childhood here. This is my spot. I consider I have a right. I have the emperor's right to be here, and I'm not moving because I want to bring this energy to you. And that is where you're ending up with the emperor, in command of your energy, on your power spot. I love it. Taurus, steeple people reaching to the skies. Let's see what the oracles say to you. So let's start with one of these. I can't remember what these are called. This one. Energy. Yeah, look at that. I love it. Yeah, you are on an energy spot. If you don't get pushed off by this guy that I'm now baldly looking at, but I'm just looking at him. He's got blacked out windows, but I'm not moving. If you take command of your spot, do not be moved by whatever emotion or irritant or sort of pushy Queen of Swords energy is trying to move you off. Look at all that energy that then gets given to you. That is like plugging into a ley line, isn't it? Look, the lightning is going to her hands. She now is in command of this fire spirit. She can throw those fireballs where she wants. She can use them to create what she wants. That's so beautiful. This is incredible. Right, let's have another oracle. I love this. And what do we have here? Yeah, tribal spirit dancer. Then you start to sort of celebrate with your true tribe, because you've not been pushed off. There's all those birds in the air. There's all those spirits working with you. You harness a power for your tribe. That feels like your root skills being about reciprocity. What you're gaining is not just for you, it's for your clan, okay? So don't get pushed off. Get that energy. And let's pull one final one. I love this. I'm so enjoying slightly teasing this guy as well, because I am stubborn as a mule. I'm not moving. I'm really happy and cozy in the car. I'm at my power spot. I love this place. It's nice and quiet. I waited out a truck behind me who had their engine idling, and for about 25 minutes. So I've claimed my spot like you need to, Taurus steeple people. And what's our final? Yeah, trust. Trust you're in the right space. Trust what your instincts are telling you, which is to own your power space, share it fairly. That's what I've been doing. So trust that. And then you get all that lightning into your hands that you can then... Look, it's sort of similar to that, isn't it? Because he's got the balanced scales, and he's also got... So he's got his two hands holding things, and he's giving out the scales. She feels a bit like the scales, the way that she stood. She then has the resources to share amongst her community. And there is an element of the imagination here, which is what you've got in your root skills, which is with the... Page of Cups. You have to believe what you're feeling. Trust your vibes, like I am. Trust that you're on the right path, because this is the path that maybe you would be travelling with him up the mountain. Trust your star, trust your instincts, and then go through the emotions of the Five of Cups in order to claim your true spot, your true power, that you can then share with your clan. I love that, Taurus steeple people. See you again soon. I'm going to do another one. I'm not moving. Bye.